Well, I got the borders to the design laid out. And next thing, I need to go ahead and wet my leather. Now, I don't want to soak it like I'm going to mold it or anything. Just get it damp and let the water absorb into the leather for a little while, and then get to doing some stamping. This is one dry hunk of leather. That's okay. I'm going to treat it with some neat's foot oil when all is said and done, and it'll be fine. There we go. Now, since I'm going to dye this one saddle tan, I do want to get the whole thing wet, because the water could stain it. And if it does, I want the whole thing stained. Okay, that should do. Leave that sit for a little while, let that soak in, and then it's time to get busy with my tri-weave stamp. That should be just about right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start at the bottom and eyeball it off the bottom edge, and then work my pattern up from there, keeping in mind that I do need to leave room for my border tool to get a nice neat border stamped in. So basically the first stamp is the most important part. Yeah, that looks good. Now with the tri-weave, I just fit the stamp into where the last one ended and stamp the next one. Turn the leather if I need to, you know. But most importantly, I do this on a sunny day, because even though I have a work light, I still have a big window next to me, and that helps light it the rest of the way. This isn't something I can do at night with just one light source. Most important that I take my time and you can see how that's building up there. I'm going to go on and do some more of this, and we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, I've got the main part of the stamping pretty much done. Now what I need to do is I'll take my border tool and I'll see how much I need to stamp, how close I need to stamp to my borders for that to look good. Like right around here and some down here and along this side. What I'll do is I'll take my tri-weave stamp and I'll put it in here where I need more of a stamp, kind of fit it into place, eyeball it, tilt it over some, and give it a stamp this way and that way. And you can see there where I get a partial stamp, and that'll fit right into where the border is going to go in. Let's see. So I'm going to continue going around the edges of this thing and checking that out, and then we'll come back with the border tool. Well, from what I can determine, we're ready to start that border. And the way I do it is I put, where am I? One stamp in one corner and another stamp in another corner, and then I use my border tool to paste that off. Just push it in. And paste it off on across to the other side. And what that'll show me how close I am to being, how close I am to have it fitting just right. And I'll know how much I'll have to tweak it to fit it just right. And it looks like it's just a hair wide, but that's okay. I can make up for that in the spacing. So I'm going to go ahead and do the entire border around this thingy, and we'll come back and we'll see how I did.
Doing all kinds of jobs.
That's the stamping all done now, and you can see how I meet it in the corners, in the corner there, and then I do my, like I said, I do my spacing out between that, and I could tell how much I got to fudge the spacing a little bit to get it to fit just right. If I just start on one side and went on over, there's no guarantee that I'll get a proper full stamp in the corner. I'll have to do like a half stamp or just leave it ugly. But that's the stamping all done. Next step, I'm going to go ahead and clean it with some alcohol. Let it sit for a while. Let it get good and dry. And then it's time to dye it with the saddle tan. And we'll see how it looks then. Actually, I'm going to dye this part on the inside and out, this part on the inside and out, and then glue these two together. Oh, no, wait, before I glue it, I'm going to finish the edges on the parts that I won't be able to get to once it's glued. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that and let that dry, and then dye and let that dry, and we'll get back to the next step, which will be to bevel and burnish these edges. Actually, I should bevel these right now before I do anything else, and then clean it and dye it and etc. etc. So, no big deal about beveling edges. You just take your edge beveler and you cut the bevel off the edges. Okay, we'll be back.